name is Judd.
My name is Rich.
And this is a comic strip AP of Burning Wheel, featuring the tale of Locien Wester. And as the game begins, Locien Wester, who is a war wizard from the Valley of the Mage, he is coming in through the Lord's Gate, which is the gate on the northern wall. And if you want to follow along, I'll have a link to the map we're going to be using, and also in our show notes will be the beliefs and any NPCs mentioned, and any articles that I thought were interesting, or forum posts that might have inspired something about the game, or what have you. The show notes are where you'll find that.
This gate, what city is this gate for?
This gate is the Lord's Gate in the free city of Greyhawk.
Yes.
Yes. As Rich said when we were going back and forth about it, a very lived-in setting. The guards definitely stop you because you've got a few dozen archers with you. Why is that, Rich? Who are these archers?
Locien is a war wizard, and he has archers that have worked with him for years.
Cool.
They are very skilled, and they're actually really close. This is a group that he wants to make sure that they're taken care of now that we are off the battlefield, and I plan on being in Greyhawk for a while.
Nice. The guard is an older woman, burly, whose name is Udana, and she's got a nose that looks like it was broken a couple times, and it looks like possibly an orc tried to chew it off but didn't quite get all the way through it. And she stops you and says, "Master Wizard, what brings you to the free city of Greyhawk?"
Good afternoon. What brings me to the city of Greyhawk is that I am here to speak with Jallarzi.
From the Council of Eight?
Yes, of course. Very same.
I'll summon her.
You seem hesitant. What is the trouble?
Council's been feuded. Small folk are calling it the Mage War.
Mage War?
It ain't a war proper, but yeah, at the last Council of Eight meeting, spells were thrown. Mage fire. A few buildings were burned down.
Gods. What is the word? What is going on? Why would they feud?
Some kind of fight about an artifact? They all went to delving a few weeks ago, and they came back with something. Something fell. It's just rumors. I'll get Jallarzi for you.
Thank you, Donna. I appreciate it.
Out of game question, do we want to make a circles roll for Jallarzi?
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah, because circles rolls are really fun. So yeah, why don't you call for that?
Yeah, awesome. We are going to make a circles-wise for contacting Jallarzi.
Okay, I've got black 2 in circles.
Cool. Do you have any reputations or affiliations that might work?
I do have a reputation. I have a deadly wizard of war.
Nice.
1 die reputation.
I'll let that fly in. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm rolling 3 dice.
Same life path. I'm going to say that she has a higher rank since she's in the Council of Eight.
Yeah, I believe that.
So that brings it up to an ob 3. Disposition common to the circle. And I'm going to be nice and say that the time and place really doesn't matter, because I just don't... It's not like you're... I feel like time and place is when you are in a real crisis, right? So this isn't a real crisis, but I'm going to say the obstacle is 3 overall.
Okay, here we go. 6, 3, and 5.
Okay, so you got 2 successes. One of them is a 6. You do start the game with 1 fate and 1 persona. Would you like to open that 6 for the 50-50 shot that you could get that 3rd and succeed?
Yeah, what's the extra benefit of getting that 3rd success versus what I currently have at 2?
What you currently have, you have 2 successes and you needed 3.
Ah.
So if you don't roll, then
3. So,
okay.
Yeah, let's open it up.
Cool.
Bam!
Nice.
That is my 3rd success.
Just to be clear, I wasn't going to have it so that Jallarzi wouldn't come, or I was going to just make things more complicated, right?
Sure.
But as it is, things are not complicated. Within 20 minutes or so, Jallarzi comes. You can tell she has some sort of warding spell up around her so that it's more difficult to cast spells around her. And she comes to you with a dozen armed, plate-mailed mercenaries, all with banded cudgels and shields.
Jallarzi.
Master Locien.
Troubling times.
For those watching at home, if this was an HBO show, Jallarzi would be played by Issa Rae. And there will be links to that in the show notes again. What does Locien look like? Let's take a step back. We get a good look at this fella. What's he wearing?
He's a war wizard, so while he does wear robes, there's also there's a heavy cloth to the robe, the kind that it could almost double for a kind of padded armor. There are several layers of it, which means that he does have just a bead of sweat across his brow, but he's comfortable in this, and he carries a sword at his belt, and it's a well-worn sword. It is not ornamental.
Very nice.
He would be played by John Cho.
Oh.
In his 40s.
Nice.
Which looks a lot like John Cho in his 30s. But
probably.
It's just because he has very good genes.
Yeah, takes good care of himself. I dig it. While you're waiting for Jallarzi, you get a little bit of a... you have a Free City of Greyhawk moment where this witch priestess, is up on a small stage near the gate, preaching the word of Ayaz the Old. She's preaching how Ayaz will lead us and will make Greyhawk great again with his might and his wisdom, and how she is carrying one of Ayaz's children, who will one day be the Lord, who she knows through prophecy will be the Lord Mayor of Greyhawk. So you should begin bowing to Ayaz now, so that when he storms these gates with a horde of orc, you will be on the right side of the divine Lord of Greyhawk. Some people gather and jeer, and some people sit and watch. And then, right before Jallarzi shows up, a city guard comes up and lets her know that her time is done. And she argues about it for a little bit, and then steps off of the stage, and a priest of St. Cuthbert gets onto that same stage and begins talking about how St. Cuthbert believes in you. And he loves you, and he believes in your strength, and he believes in your truth. And you're kind of in this you're listening to this feel-good, after this witch priestess is talking about this fell god, the saint of the cudgels priest begins talking about how a saint in heaven believes in you. And that's when Jallarzi comes up.
During both of those performances, I've been glancing over at Gazer of Hommlet, my second in command. We give the proper amount of deference to both gods, but
cool.
We make our own luck, fate.
Yeah, she nods, just kind of shakes her head. This is some nonsense.
Yes, indeed.
She is just taking in the city. I don't think she's ever seen a city this big before. It's a sprawling metropolis. She just shakes her head. Greyhawk City don't look like shit. And that's right when Jallarzi gets there. Her posse kind of spreads out. They know to trust you, but they look outward and making sure that nobody creeps up on the meeting. And she says to the city watch, who is in charge of this gate, she says, Master Locien has sworn powerful oaths to Greyhawk already. And she kind of hands him a scroll that denotes that. She says he already has an apartment here. Him and his armed men will be welcome inside the city, by the grace of the Council of Eight. And the guard says, mumbles under her breath something about whatever good that's worth nowadays. And Jallarzi gives her kind of a hard look and says, I know a good tea shop around here. Come on, we should have a talk.
Very well.
You two sit down to tea in the bazaar, down the professional way. Make a perception roll.
All right, my perception is a black 5.
Yeah. Roll 5 dice. Tell me how many 4, 5s, and 6s you get.
2. 2 successes.
You are sitting and having tea with Jallarzi. She's about to start talking about the precarious political situation in this free city of Greyhawk when you notice this seed of fire arc over the marketplace, and you know that a fireball is coming. And that's where we'll start next game.
Oh, wow. Hell yeah, that's a good stop.
Cool.
Soundscape music was found on tabletopaudio.com. If you want awesome music for your game sessions, try tabletopaudio.com.
Hi, this is Jason from the Gauntlet Gaming Community. If you enjoyed this episode of Comic Strip AP, please consider supporting the Gauntlet on Patreon. Our page can be found at patreon.com/gauntlet.